Imagine being betrayed by your own flesh and blood. Your family, the people you trust most, steal your life's work, leaving you with nothing. This isn't a movie plot. It's the true story of my uncle, a brilliant entrepreneur who was pushed out of his own company by his brothers. But this story doesn't end with defeat. It ends with a comeback, a meticulously planned revenge to decades in the making. Let's go back 20 years. My uncle, let's call him David, poured his heart and soul into building a tech company from the ground up. He worked day and night, sacrificing everything. He brought his two younger brothers, Mark and Tom, on board, believing in the power of family. The company flourished, becoming a leader in its industry. But as success grew, so did the greed in his brothers' hearts. They saw the empire David built and decided they wanted it all for themselves. One day, David walked into a board meeting and his world crumbled. Mark and Tom, armed with legal loopholes and a majority of shares they'd quietly acquired, voted him out. They staged a corporate coup. He was escorted out of the building he built, stripped of his title, his shares, and his dignity. The betrayal was absolute, a knife twisted by the hands he once held. The family was shattered. Holidays became silent battlegrounds, and gatherings were filled with tension. David was broken, but deep inside that heartbreak, a single, cold thought began to form. He would get it all back. For years, David disappeared from the tech world. To his brothers, he was a ghost, a cautionary tale they'd tell themselves to justify their actions. They thought he had given up, defeated, but they were wrong. He wasn't hiding. He was preparing. He took on simple consulting jobs, living frugally, not because he had to, but because every penny he saved was a soldier in his future army. He was observing, learning, and waiting. He watched as his brothers ran the company, noting their every mistake, their every vulnerability. They were good managers, but they lacked his vision, his innovative spark. While they enjoyed the fruits of his labor, David was back in the garage, just like the old days. He was working on a new idea, something revolutionary that would make his previous company obsolete. He wasn't just building a new product, he was forging a weapon. He knew the market better than anyone, and he knew his brothers' weaknesses. He understood their predictable strategies and their resistance to true innovation. They had grown comfortable, complacent, and that was the opening he needed. He secretly assembled a small, loyal team of engineers, many of whom were old colleagues who had left the original company, disgusted by what his brothers had done. They worked in secret, fueled by a shared sense of justice and a belief in David's genius. They knew this was more than just a startup. It was a mission. David wasn't just a boss. He was a general leading them into a battle for redemption. The atmosphere was electric. Every line of code, every design sketch was a step closer to victory. After nearly 20 years of silent, patient work, the day finally came. David launched his new company. The product was a masterpiece, a technological leap that stunned the industry. It was sleeker, faster, and more intuitive than anything on the market, especially the now outdated offerings from his brother's company. The tech world was set ablaze. Everyone was asking, where did this come from? And then the big reveal. The founder was David, The man everyone thought had vanished. The news hit his brother's company like a tidal wave. Their stock plummeted. Clients started jumping ship, flocking to David's superior product. Mark and Tom were blindsided. They tried to compete, rushing out updates and slashing prices, but it was too little, too late. They were trying to patch a sinking ship while David was sailing a state-of-the-art battleship. The very empire they had stolen was now crumbling before their eyes, made irrelevant by the man they had cast out. The irony was poetic. David never once attacked them publicly. He never mentioned their names in interviews. His revenge wasn't loud or vulgar. It was silent, elegant, and absolute. His victory was the quality of his work. He didn't need to tear them down. He simply built something so magnificent that their creation was left in its shadow. He took back his crown not by force, but by sheer brilliance and relentless dedication. In the end, Mark and Tom were forced to sell their company for a fraction of its former worth. They lost everything. David, on the other hand, was back on top. Not just as a successful entrepreneur, but as a legend. His story became a testament to the power of resilience and the idea that true success is the best revenge. He proved that you can be knocked down, betrayed, and left for dead. But with patience and an unbreakable spirit, you can rise from the ashes and build an even greater empire. This story isn't just about revenge. It's about justice. It's about a man who, instead of letting bitterness consume him, channeled his pain into creation. He didn't just reclaim his legacy. He redefined it on his own terms. It's a powerful lesson for anyone who has ever been wronged. Don't get angry. Get better. Focus on your own growth, build your own success, and let that be your definitive statement. What do you all think of this incredible story of perseverance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of incredible comebacks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.